I'm Jammer, and welcome to Fish Facts with Professor Jammer. Have you ever wondered why the Mantis Shrimp glass breaks when you interact with it? Or why the Ocean Sunfish's tank is on its side? One of my favorite things about the Animal Crossing series is how much I've learned from this dude right here, Blathers. He's taught me so much about fish and bugs, and honestly, I wouldn't know as much as I do about this stuff if it wasn't for this guy. The developers have really gone the extra mile when it comes to this series by putting in a lot of interesting facts for not only Blathers to teach players about these real-world fish, but there also are a lot of secrets and Easter eggs in reference to the real science behind these creatures. But before we get started, if you are new here, perhaps consider subscribing. It's free, and you can always change your mind later, but you of course can expect tons more on Animal Crossing New Horizons and maybe more Fish Facts videos. I don't know, if you guys really like this, maybe we'll make this into a series or something. Genuinely, I just wanted to do this for fun, out of the immense passion I have for this in the first place. So I thought it would just be a lot of fun to make a little educational video, as well as like a fun facts about the fish of Animal Crossing. So without further ado, let's get started. First, let's start with one of my previous favorite fish, the big boy himself, Ocean Sunfish. They are kind of weird looking, aren't they? How flat they are and how immensely massive they actually get. We're accustomed to seeing them, of course, as full-grown adults in this game, but have you ever seen a baby ocean sunfish? Oh my gosh, they are the cutest thing on this earth, I swear. But let's talk about its tank. In series past, the ocean sunfish would just be in a giant, big square tank, and all fish were like that up until Animal Crossing New Horizons, where they went that extra mile to really give unique styled tanks to a lot of the different fish in this game. The ocean sunfish in particular is a big orange bucket, and you'll notice it's kind of shallow, rendering the ocean sunfish to have the only option of resting on its side. And you would think with such a big fish, why didn't they give it a bigger tank to swim in? Well, actually, this is something ocean sunfish do in real life. Because ocean sunfish are so big, they are often victims to skin parasites. And due to their size, there's not really much they can do about it. It's not like they have appendages like we do where we can scratch ourselves. So the solution they found in real life is what they will do is they'll swim sideways across the water's surface. That way, small fish and even birds can come and clean their skin. Maybe that's part of the reason why they're called sunfish, because it looks like they're laying out to relax to get a tan, but really what they're trying to do is invite fish as well as even birds to come and clean their skin and pick the parasites off of them. And is probably why the developers decided to put the ocean sunfish in the tank sideways. The next fish I want to talk about is one of the most alien-looking creatures in the entirety of Animal Crossing, and that is the elusive barreleye. As you can already see, it's got a very weird looking face, doesn't it? The fact is that the head and forehead of the fish is actually transparent, and those green orbs you see are actually eyeballs on the inside of its head. Now think about that. What if your eyes were literally in your forehead? As weird as this looks, this is actually super advantageous to the barreleye because they live in the super deep depths of the ocean, where of course there is not much light to go around. So having a fully transparent dome and those giant bulbing eyes allows a ton of light to enter into their eyes from above. You see those little dots that are right above the mouth that kind of look like its eyes? Well, those are actually its nostrils. Logically, it kind of looks like those would be its eyes, but in reality, its eyes are in its head. Speaking of its eyes, it has full control of all directions of which way it wants to point. Typically, they face upwards to find food, but of course, when feeding, they can point them forward so they can actually make sure food actually gets in its mouth. The depths of the ocean creates some truly alien-looking creatures. Because light is so scarce, it is extremely important to be able to retain your sight. So what better way to protect your eyeballs than just keep them inside your head? Let's take a break from fish for just a second and actually talk about our guy, Pascal. We all know him as the little scallop-addicted otter. After you trade him a scallop, if you actually swim to the boundary nearby to where you traded him the scallop, you'll actually see him swimming away off into the distance, holding the scallop you traded him. After a little bit of time, he'll actually play a very unique animation where he starts looks like he's kind of just shaking the scallop up and down, and then he just munches it away into his face. There's actually a little bit more going on to this animation than it may first appear. Because what he's actually doing is he's hitting the scallop onto the shell necklace that Pascal is wearing. That shell necklace is in reference to real-world otters that use stones as tools to open their shellfish. Otters are super smart animals that'll often swim with a rock that they can use as a tool to break open the shellfish that they're going to eat. And in this case, Animal Crossing references that by using Pascal's necklace as the tool he uses to actually to open the scallop and eat it all up. Okay, now let's jump back over to sea life, and this might be my new favorite creature on Earth. It is just so interesting, and that is the Mantis Shrimp. Before we get into the Easter egg with the glass cracking with this creature, let's talk about just the color of itself. You can already see the Mantis Shrimp is gorgeous with its greens and orange and turquoise. It is easily one of the most colorful creatures you can catch in Animal Crossing. But to explain why the Mantis Shrimp is colorful, we need to back up and talk about color itself. See, our eyeballs are made up of a lot of complex thingies. Eyes have rods, which basically perceive light and motion, and they have cones, which enable us to see color. For example, dogs have 2 cones, which is green and blue. Humans, for example, we have 3 cones, the typical RGB that you've probably heard before. That additional cone that we have more than dogs gives us the ability to see even more of a wider spectrum of the rainbow, as well as more color combinations than just you could do with the red and green cones. So as you can see, adding just a singular cone exponentially increases the amount of color a creature can see. Want to take a guess how many cones the Mantis Shrimp has? Get this, they have 16 cones in their eyes. Yeah, that's right, 16 cones. That means Mantis Shrimp can see over 5 times amount of color than us humans can see. They literally can see so many more colors that we can never even perceive or even comprehend. When we observe the color of a Mantis Shrimp, like I mentioned, we see the greens and the oranges and the blues, but those colors are literally the only colors our eyeballs and brains can even comprehend. From a Mantis Shrimp looking at another, they must see something so unbelievably beautiful that us as humans cannot even comprehend or understand or even just imagine what it would look like. So while the color of the Mantis Shrimp is unbelievable, just wait until we start talking about the claws. So get this, with its mantis-like claws, it is able to punch as fast as a .22 caliber rifle. That's right, it literally can punch at the speed of a bullet. Its claws move so fast that the water surrounding the claw starts to boil. You heard that right, it moves so fast that it starts to boil, which is a process that is called supercavitation. The punch is so strong that it causes an underwater shockwave, and even if the Mantis Shrimp misses its prey and doesn't directly make contact with it, the shockwave alone can kill its prey. Even if it misses, it can kill its prey with the force of its punch. The force of the collapsing bubbles throughout the motion of its punch produce temperatures that are several thousand Kelvin, and this is the craziest part, it is so hot that it even emits tiny bursts of light. The process of these little tiny bursts of lights are called sonoluminescence. Not only can this shrimp punch at the speed of a bullet, it punches so fast that the water starts to boil, causing a shockwave that even if it doesn't hit its prey, it can still kill it. And the bubbles surrounding this motion are literally so hot that it causes light to be formed. These little guys are starting to sound like little anime villains at this point. It has been found to be really difficult to ever put Mantis Shrimp in captivity because, for one, they kind of just murder any other fish that it's in a tank with. But beyond that, the glass will often crack because they can break the aquarium glass with their claws. And that is why, of course, developers decided to conclude this Easter egg when, you put the Mantis Shrimp in a tank outside in your village or in your house, to when you interact with it and turn on the light, it'll actually punch and crack the glass. It's so amazing that just this tiny little detail prompted so much research to learn so much about this fascinating creature. That is it. That is all the fun little fish facts I wanted to share with you guys in this video. There are so many interesting and scientific little Easter eggs that are in Animal Crossing that I just love to geek out about, and I'm happy to have been able to share with you. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a big awesome like, and if you haven't already, definitely subscribe for tons more on Animal Crossing New Horizons. If you want to see another episode or me make a series or something on this, let me know in the comments, and perhaps even give me suggestions of fish, bugs, or any other creatures in the game you'd love to learn a little more about. As a reminder, we do stream this game every weekend at 10 a.m. Eastern right here on YouTube Live, Saturdays and Sundays, so come on by. We have a lot of fun hanging out on my island, nerding out over fish facts, and all that sort of fun stuff. Be sure to follow me over on Twitter to keep up with everything we do in regards to the channel. Be sure to follow me over on Twitter to keep up with everything we do in regards to the channel. Maybe send me your Mantis Shrimp anime villain fan art over there if you want. Also, be sure to join our community Discord. The link to that is in the description below. It's a great place to find friends to play Animal Crossing with, trade turnips, items, geek out about more fish facts. I don't know. There's an amazing community over there, and I highly encourage you to check it out. So I think that's about everything for me for now. Thanks again, guys, so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya!